Hi everyone, this is Karen from Malcolm, your Agile Evangelist, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will be talking about how to follow up on action items as a Scrum Master or an Agile coach. You know, following up on action items is a vital part of your accountability as a Scrum Master or an Agile coach or an Agile leader. Do you know why? Because that is how the change happens. That is how all these changes for improvement, as you all know, Agile is all about continuous learning and continuous improvement. Agile is all about walking the path as opposed to contemplating on the path. You know, so it is critical for you as a Scrum Master or an Agile leader to get comfortable on following up on action items, because that is how the change happens. Well, before we dive into the flesh of this topic today, I just want to first of all take this opportunity to give a quick shout out to everyone who has supported this platform. All my subscribers, all those who have been participating, you know, asking questions, sharing, reaching out to me through text, emails, LinkedIn, you know, I don't know how I can thank you. It's been amazing. You know, right now, this is one of the most fun parts of my life. I always look forward to weekends because I know that I am going to connect with you and we all are learning something. We all are growing together. So I just want to say a big thank you. Your support means everything, you know. Just clicking on that subscription button, it simply means that you support our vision, you support the platform, and you support the message. So I don't know how to thank you, but I am grateful. Thank you so very much. Now, if this is your first time here, you are most welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And just so you remain in sync on what we do here on a weekly basis, please turn on that subscription button, turn on the notification bell, and, you know, share, comments, you know, ask questions so that we can all continue to learn and grow together as this one big happy Agile family. Thank you so much. Now, how can you as a Scrum Master, an Agile coach, an Agile practitioner follow up on action item in a way that will drive outcome, in a way that will continue to push your agenda for continuous learning, continuous growth, and continuous improvement? I always say this. It is very important for you to always have an approach. As a leader, it is not very advisable for you to walk into any session without having an approach on how you want to handle issues, or just thinking that you will always go with the flow. Most of the time, going with the flow doesn't always turn out really right. So it is very important for you to always have at least one or two approaches that you will have to implement in order to make sure that you're getting results, in order to make sure that you are getting outcome. So how do you go about doing that? Even before I go about start sharing one of my approaches with you, it is also important that you understand how these solution-oriented action items even come about as a Scrum Master, as an Agile coach, you know, as an Agile leader. So the way Scrum and Agile is designed, there are so many different avenues that you can generate action items for improvement. Typical avenues would be the retrospective session, sprint planning, backlog refinement session. I mean, even daily Scrum, you know, sprint review, coaching, workshop sessions, and even mentoring. So these are typical avenues that you can use to generate solution-oriented action items. So how then do you go about, you know, generating these action items in a way that will make your team members, your stakeholders feel comfortable, and you as well not feeling like you're micromanaging or you're trying to micromanage your stakeholders or trying to micromanage your team members? How do you go about doing that? So one of my approaches that I've always used and that has always really worked out for me, it's called the commit to action approach. Yes, that's how I call it. It is commit to action approach. So how does this commit to action approach work? This commit to action approach has 3 steps. Number 1, you have to guide your team member, your stakeholder, your coachee, your mentee, or whoever you're having that conversation with to commit to an accountability. That is, for example, let's say you're coaching a team. As a coach, you are not the one to give them solutions to their problems. That's not your job as a coach. As a coach, what you are doing is, helping your team, empowering them to really brainstorm on your issues and then discover what the root cause of the problem is, and then identify potential solutions to their own problems. You are not the one giving them solutions. You are helping them to solution for themselves. So how do you go about doing that? Like I said, the first step is to guide them to determine potential solutions to their own problems, or determine next step of actions. That is the first step you have to do. That is their accountability. You need to guide them to be able to identify an accountability, or you want to call it action item. That is the first step you have to do. You see, help them to identify an action item for the issue that you've been having a conversation on. And remember, you are not the one assigning an action item to them. That is also very important to know, because as human beings, it is just but normal for people to have the sense of ownership or feel accountable to complete a task that they themselves have committed to, as opposed to, even worrying about completing a task that someone else assigned to them. You see, so it is very important for you as the agile leader to try as much as you can to remain neutral, in this kind of situation. Let them trust. Again, trust is the key. Trust that they are smart enough to be able to come up with potential solutions to their own problems, to identify action items for improvement. So let them identify these action items and then commit to these action items. You see, that's the first step you need to accomplish. And then the second step is, after they have committed to this action item, that is after they've identified or determined these action items or this accountability and commit to them, the second thing you have to help them do is guide them to commit to a deadline. You see, that is a deadline that they would want to complete that action item. So as an agile leader, try again not to set a deadline for them. No, let them. That is, you just have to guide them through questioning, through powerful questions, to, orientate them in a way that they will, commit to a deadline, keeping in mind the risk involved, keeping in mind the urgency involved for these action items to be completed. So guide them to commit to a deadline. That is the second thing you need to do. And the last step you need to take, right before we talk about the last step, just as a quick reminder, if you are interested in more than just what we are sharing on this platform, that is, if you're looking for mentoring and coaching one-on-one services, please go to the description box. You will find our contact information. You can reach out and we will, discuss how to come up with an action plan on how to identify and close your gaps for you to be successful as an agile leader or a Scrum Master or an agile coach, whatever you're looking for. Thank you so much. Again, if you still haven't subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and turn on the subscription button and turn on the notification bell so that you will remain in sync in what we share here on weekly basis. Also, share with your friends so we all can continue to learn as this one big, happy, agile family. Thank you so much. Now, let us go back to what we were talking about. The last step you have to implement in the commit to action approach as you are following up on action item is you as the agile leader, a Scrum Master, an agile coach, an agile practitioner, you have to commit to a date as well to follow up with them. You see, So it is important. So this step is very important because this is the step that, defines everything, that, make that communication really flow. It's important for you to also commit to a date that you will want to follow up with them on their action item, given the date that they've committed to, that they plan to follow, to complete that action item. So it's not just about you committing to a follow-up date. You also have to determine the time and the place for follow-up, and not just keep it to yourself, assuming that, oh, they will know, or they will think that I will follow up with them. No, it is important for you to communicate. Let you and your team, your stakeholder, your coachee, your mentee be on the same page on what to expect, so that when you reach out to them, they will not feel like you're trying to micromanage them, or they will not feel like you don't trust them, or you yourself, you will not kind of feel uncomfortable doing that. So right there and there, it is important that you discuss with them, communicate with them, tell them, like, go ahead, tell them, be open, tell them that, okay, given the dates that you've provided, you say something like this, for example, given the dates that you've provided to complete your action item, would it be okay if I follow up with you on this? Most of the time they'll hardly ever say no, but it's just important that you all are on the same page, you see. So set that date so that they will be looking forward to that date, and just you setting that date to follow up with them. Normally, human beings tend to always want to, show that they know what they are doing and you can trust them as well. So just you setting that date, time, and place for follow-up, it will also prompt them to make sure that they are following through with their accountability. They are following through with their action item, you see, so that before the date for your follow-up approaches, they will have some information, some new information for you. If for some reason they are not able to do that, they will definitely reach out to you to communicate, to let you know that they are not able to complete this action item for whatever reason, you see. So it is important for you to establish this last step, So let us just as a quick recap again. Number one step is to guide them to identify their solution-oriented action items. Do not assign action items to them. No, unless they ask your opinion, you give your suggestion and let them commit to an action item, you see. But you need to facilitate the process as an agile leader. The second step is guide them to commit to a date to complete their action item. That's the second step you have to do. And then the third step is you as the agile leader have to also commit to a date, time, and place to follow up on these action items. And then not just committing to a date, time, and place, you need to communicate with them at that time. Let them know that you will be following up with them on this date, the time, and place, so that they will, you all will be on the same page, and again, communicate the goal, the reason why you're following up with them, just to find out, if the action item was effective, and if you need to continue looking for more solutions or more ways to improve on your process, your people and interaction, your product, or whatever thing you were discussing about. In summary, as an agile leader, you want to be sure that your sessions are always close-ended. You don't want to leave your sessions open-ended. That is, for example, if you're conducting a retrospective and at the end of the retrospective, there is no commit to action, then the retrospective was pointless. And you don't want to waste people's time. You don't want to waste your own time as well. You want to make sure that you are adding value. That's the whole point. You need to figure out a way to continuously improve, refine your process, refine your people and interaction, refine your product in a way that will continue to increase the value delivered to the customers, the value delivered to the business, the value delivered to your team, the value delivered to yourself as the leader. So try as much as you can to make sure that your sessions, that is whether it's coaching session, retrospective session, mentoring session, consulting session, whatever session you are having, try as much as possible to always ensure that it is close-ended. meaning that at the end of the day, you want your team, your stakeholder to always commit to an action for improvement, following these 3 steps we've talked about today. So that is going to be the end of this video. I hope this video was helpful. And to Tochi, who actually reached out to me through email to ask me about this question, I just want to say thank you so much. So Tochi is one of my YouTube followers who reached out and asked this question. It is because of you that I am able to talk about this, and others are learning something. Others who may be in the same dilemma are able to learn. I myself, just by putting this material together, I also learned something, so I just want to really appreciate that you reached out and you asked your question. I also highly encourage other people, to use the comment section, especially, to always drop your questions, and I will, do my best to, share my experience, and others should also be able to add their thoughts to it. And that is how we all will continue to learn and grow together, expand the Agile space, increase the Agile knowledge, increase and enjoy the Agile way of life. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this content. I hope to talk to you